I want to respond to folks who accuse me of saying you have to be a Christian to be a conservative. Man, I never said that. No wonder y'all despise the Bible. Y'all can't even get what my simple behind said right. How can you correctly get what the Bible says? Y'all see and hear stuff that wasn't recorded, and you're deaf and blind to what actually was. There's people who can practically recite every word from a comic book series. Yet when it comes to the Bible, y'all miss the message, like a full bladder drunk missing a toilet.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
Maybe that's what's needed for people to actually examine the Bible. A Bible-based comic book series. The Bible's already a comic book series, so hey, that's what I would have said when I was an agnostic liberal. Anyway, man, it is so sad that people get really defensive in their rejection of God. I can understand shielding from infiltration, but shielding your own eyes and ears to where you can't even see and hear properly, well, that's just bad defense. Let me put it in plain English. You do not have to be a Christian to be a conservative or a Republican. I do say that Christianity, conservatism, and the Republican platform are a high complement to each other. Pro-life, don't murder, don't covet, don't steal, you don't work, you don't eat, be of service, be charitable by your own volition, not by government institution. If you're going to be a part of a nation, don't try to make our nation like the one you just left. Have a ready military. And no, you don't at all have to believe in God to agree with these things. And hey, just a side reminder to liberals who try to make Jesus out to be some hippie, Jesus has a standing army of angelic legions ready for their day to throw down against the type of mindsets that put him on the cross. That war is coming, a war against the wrongs humanity has done to each other. What? You think humanity is going to perfectly right itself? It's going to take a miracle for us to live in peace. And it just so happens that God is in the business of miracles. And it's going to take one big messy war of a miracle to set us straight. Jesus may be the Prince of Peace, but he's been provoked to be the warlord that's going to give a show of peace through strength that'll make a nuke seem like a water balloon. To quote what Lincoln said, it ain't about hoping God is on our side. My concern is being on the right side of God, for he is always right. I find it very ironic that people reject the Bible citing that it's intellectually lacking, yet are constantly trying to stretch their intellect to disprove this book that's supposedly intellectually deficient. Again, you do not have to be a Christian to be a conservative. However, you stop being conservative when you tell other conservatives to leave their faith out of the tent. Real conservatives don't tell others to throw Christ under the bus. I would never tell an atheist that they'd have to leave their atheism at the door to be a conservative. I would never try to impose my faith. I'll share it, and I'll invite you into it, and I'll even defend it when it's under attack, but I'm not going to tell you that you have to accept it. It's the atheists who more often try to impose their lack of faith on us and try to tell us that in order for us to get ahead, we need to leave our faith behind. Israel survives when the Lord goes before them in battle. This conservative Republican prefers to have the Lord go before me. Breitbart told me he may not be a Christian, but he'll stand with them every time because Christianity is at the founding of the friendliest environment for all peoples of faith and people who don't have faith at all. True, some so-called Christians have tried to do the opposite of that. That was their selfish interpretation. That's not the teachings of Christ. And no, it's not his fault. I'm Alfonso Rachel with ZoNation, and I hope that clears the air. I was a conservative before I became a Christian. I wouldn't have liked it if somebody told me I had to be a Christian to be a conservative. I would tell them it was wrong. As a Christian, I still say it'd be wrong. But I can tell you that atheism doesn't have a foundation that sustains conservatism. What principles of atheism would serve as a foundation for conservatism? An atheist would have to borrow from biblical virtues to lay their foundation for any sense of morality, or apply it as a basis of conservatism. Atheism has no core virtue of its own. Even if you say morality isn't exclusive to Christianity, you can point to some other religion or philosophy all you want and say you can pull from that. That's fine. Those virtues still aren't going to be pulled out of atheism. Atheism isn't a moral virtue. It's a void. And you can't build a foundation on a void. Man, I never said that.